The Chinese are a funny lot, I've decided, and this past weekend has only underscored that feeling in my mind. It's 9 a.m. and outside it's -9 degrees. Looks like winter is on its way now, though with the promise of another sunny day, it's too nice to be snuggled up indoors. I scour the map and discover a park named Zizhuyuan, slap bang behind the National Library here in Beijing. As I have an appointment at the National Dance Academy at midday, and the academy is just around the corner from the library, I decide it's time to take in another of Beijing's famous parks. Zizhuyuan translates as Purple Bamboo Garden. The park is renowned for its 50-plus species of bamboo, of which by far the most rare is the purple bamboo. I shiver my way to the subway, normally a 10-minute walk away, but today, as I brave an icy northerly wind, I make it in 7 minutes. Surely the subway will be empty of people today. But no, it's as crowded as ever, with the collective breath of these hardy souls turning to steam as they wait for the train. I emerge half an hour later from the National Library station on Line 4. According to my map, all I have to do is turn right and right again, and I should be there. Alas, Mr. Google's army of map-making henchmen take no account of Beijing's city workers, who decide to lock one of the access gates 5 minutes' walk down a pretty road, bordering the Changhe River, which itself meanders through the park. And your favourite podcaster is forced to make a U-turn and head on to another main entrance further to the south. The blurb written about the park is winsome in its praise. For visitors who are fond of bamboo and wide waters, Zizhuyuan Park is hard to beat, they all chorus. This park is renowned for its bamboo scenery. 3 lakes filled with lotus blossoms occupy 1/3 of the area. They're connected with 2 islets by 5 arched bridges. Pavilions, corridors and bridges hide in the tall bamboo all across the park. How could one resist such an entreaty as that? I arrive a short while later at the main eastern entrance and learn straight away that there are at least 20 things I mustn't even think of doing while I'm inside the park. I see one of them is that no smoking is allowed. Okay, in that case we can fairly safely assume that this notice doesn't count for much, since all Chinese know that smoking is one of their inalienable rights. Once inside, I come across a list of 9 further admonishments that I attempt to commit to memory, including love the motherland, love Beijing, cherish national harmony, and maintain stability. Love labour, be dedicated to work, be honest and be diligent and thrifty. Transform undesirable habits and customs, lead to a healthy life, advocate family planning, and be physically strong. Okay, I guess I'm a fan of national stability, and as for being honest, diligent, and thrifty, then I'm your man. As for transforming my undesirable habits, I fear it may be a bit late for that by now, remembering the old saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And as for advocating family planning and being physically strong, I'm afraid that Mr. Wimp inside me may have difficulty coming to terms with this too. I sloped past the notice board wondering if anyone will stop me for not having enough rippling muscles on display. But I have no reason to worry, as everyone is covered up Mr. Michelin Man style, and no one is inspecting muscles today, rippling or otherwise. The blurb on the websites helpfully suggests that the garden has a variety of bamboos on display, and is one of the 7 largest parks in Beijing. Actually, once inside, there is bamboo everywhere, which I have to admit is rather picturesque. I also have to admit that though Zizhuyuan may well be one of the 7 largest parks in Beijing, it covers an area of 14 hectares, contains 3 lakes and 2 islands, with 5 bridges connecting the lakes. I had never actually heard of it before. Come to think of it, neither do any of my friends at work. Not that that says an awful lot, to understand. The lakes cover 11 out of those 14 hectares, and earth dredged from the lakes was piled up to form several little hills on the eastern shore to complement the natural hills that line the lake's western shores. The park's authorities are proud to tell you that the designs and arrangements of all the scenes in this park follow the principle of what is natural is the most beautiful, before going on to describe how stones and man-made rockeries have been scattered around artistically, thereby somewhat shoveling the ground from beneath their own feet. The Purple Bamboo Park has a long history. Before the 3rd century, it formed the upper reaches of the Gaoliang River, and a famous Gaoliang Bridge stood nearby to the east. 1,000 years later, the lakes served as a reservoir, providing an important part of Beijing's water supply. In the late Yuan dynasty, a canal was built along the upper reaches of the Gaoliang River, but it fell into neglect and gradually became silted up. During the Republican period, it was filled in and rented out as paddy fields. Of perhaps more historical importance, though, is the fact that the park grew up around the central Beijing terminal of the canal built to carry the Empress Dowager Cixi to and from the Summer Palace. And even today in the summer, tour boats still ply the waters, carrying tourists to the palace. After 1949, the People's Government transformed the fields into a new park. But what's this, I hear you all crying out? Purple Bamboo Park? Okay, you think this isn't confusing for me too? Zizhuyuan literally means purple bamboo garden, but the English botanist to first name this species of bamboo called it Philostachys nigra, hence its official English name is Black Bamboo Park, despite every website and guidebook calling it Purple Bamboo Park. Anyway, be it purple or black, the entire park is given over to bamboo in various colours, including park benches, tables and chairs, bamboo water wheels, even stores along the lake bank, when they're open, rather than in the depths of nearly winter, also sell fancy bamboo works of art. Even the bridges and pavilions are decorated with bamboo motifs. However, it's not all bamboo, purple, black or otherwise. Apparently, in the summer months, the lakes are a riot of colour from lotus plants. So it's not surprising that the lotus shares the limelight as far as some of the park's decorations are concerned. One of the things that I regularly come across in Beijing's parks is the sight of, normally, old people practicing calligraphy on the sidewalks, using water instead of ink. It's a simple idea, but most effective, and I find it always catches my attention whenever I pass by. I'm left wondering today if the words will turn into slivers of ice rather than simply evaporating in the sun. Other hardy souls are even more adventurous, or balmy depending on your point of view. I mean, for crying out loud, it can't be more than -5 degrees by now, and still these men are sitting around in the cold playing mahjong. Are they mad, or am I missing something? There's even an area devoted to Chinese chess. What look like park benches, but which on closer inspection turn out to be sculptures, are offset by a gigantic chess sculpture. Quite pretty. But no one is playing chess today. Come to that, not that many people are enjoying the beauties of nature, despite some of the trees displaying some fantastic colours. The sky has turned overcast, that look it gets when it's thinking of chucking down loads of snow. Already the sides of the lake are turning to ice, and although it's the middle of the morning, it almost feels like dusk is on its way. But just then a ray of sun fights its way through the cloud layer, revealing a saxophone combo about to warm up for a rehearsal in the protection of a grotto. China's parks are full of people who want to practice a musical instrument but can't do so in the apartment blocks in which they live. Another saxophonist appears, this time in the shade of a pavilion. I turn a corner and the sounds of mass choirs fill the air. There must be 70 or 80 people, all singing at the tops of their voices. Doesn't anyone have a warm home they'd rather be in? Can you imagine this happening in Europe or America? No, neither can I. Meanwhile, the kiddies' play area has all but ground to a halt. Maybe the kids themselves have a lot more sense than their parents. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You've sat through all this blurb so far, and there's been practically nothing about the bamboo plants themselves. The websites blabber on about among the diverse bamboo stocks, such as mottled bamboos, purple bamboos, and fishbowl bamboos. By far the most common in the park is the purple bamboo. Really? Well, the Philostachys aurea sulcata foreocollis is much in evidence here. Come on, you're allowed to BS just a little. There's even quite a bit of Philostachys propinqua. But Philostachys nigra? Well, apart from one largest clump close to the massed choirs, I haven't actually seen any at all. But I have to say that in the park it looks decidedly black, whilst back home the photo looks, purple. So what is it, black or purple? I guess it doesn't matter that much. I round another lake heading in the direction of the southern exit. Already there is ice forming right into the centre of the water, and the falling leaves are getting trapped in the ice. It's pretty now, but I suspect in a couple of weeks it will look rather yucky. I turn another corner and come face to face with mass tango, Beijing tango, I believe, not the Argentine variety. Again, there must be over 50 couples strutting their stuff in way below zero temperatures. It's a joy to behold, but I still think these Chinese are balmy. I've been in the park for just over 45 minutes, and I'm blue with cold. As I pass yet another dance class, this one the Paso Doble, I think, Beijing style of course, I head out into the real world once again and make my way rapidly in the direction of a hot cup of tea